Hey guys, that picture you see on top of my head is a dream come true that came for me because I worked my butt off for a lot of years. So that was a picture of myself and Igor Larionov, who's a Hall of Fame Russian hockey player that finished off in Detroit. I want to tell you a quick story about that. I was training hockey players for about probably 8-10 years. Had some really good success with NHL players and junior players that were really moving along. And I was doing a camp in Detroit, and this guy waiting for me at the end of the day on the boards on the side saying, Andy, I need to talk to you, with this heavy Russian accent. And it was Igor Larionov. I recognized him right away, but he said, you have to come to Russia with me and train my players, because he's a hockey agent now. And he wanted me to go to Russia to train his players, and caught me off guard a little bit. So asked him a couple questions, and we sat there and worked the details out in the next couple days, which was great. But so I had to fly to Russia with a legendary hockey player, and my point of the story was this, because I'll tell this story another day. My point of the story was this. When I came back, had a couple interviews, because Igor's a legend, and they want to know a lot about it. And one of the questions I had on one of the CBC stations was, so when you went over there with all these Russian players, and you got one of the best hockey players that ever lived asked you to train his players, were you nervous? And I looked at him honestly, and I said, no, not at all. Wasn't nervous at all, because I've been doing this over and over and over and over for years. I mean, I grew up in hockey since I'm 2 years old, play hockey, and I've never looked at anybody in hockey in the whole world as anything better than me, just as a peer. But I had so much respect for Igor, and this was actually a dream I had. So, but what my point was, I said I was prepared. I'm never not ready to train a hockey player. And I think as a coach and a player, you've got to put your time in and do every scenario that you possibly can. Put yourself in every situation you possibly can, so that when something comes up, you're absolutely ready. So I was ready for that, no problem. I was 6 hours a day on the ice for 12 days, and it was fantastic. And it was a challenge, and there was a lot of great Russian hockey players, obviously, in Moscow. And I came back a better man, because it was a challenge. And the thing was, I was prepared. I've done this thousands and thousands of times. And if anybody in this field, if you want to be good at what you do, if you want to get to the level of being the best, or if you want to, even if you're coaching 12-year-olds, if you want to be the best at what you're doing, at building people up or whatever it is, you have to put your time in. You have to go through the trenches, and you're going to make some mistakes, but you've got to put the time in. So prepare yourself, because when you're prepared, opportunities come. So preparedness plus opportunity gives you a lot of success. Thank you.